So now we'll move into the referendum projects questions.
Okay.
Um, the first one is, would the small business incubator only be for Irmo High School students?
So correct. The incubator at Irmo High School, I don't know if I have it queued up here. Yeah, is that is at Irmo High School only. Yeah, so that would be at Irmo High School. But understand, Irmo High School is a school of choice. That if someone wanted a choice into um, be a part of the incubator, they certainly can. But this is designed for Irmo High School.
Okay. How will the district address the deferred maintenance that is not included in the identified bond projects?
So what we would be able to do, and this is a really good question that I think I want to go back to my kind of the tax graphic here, is that by issuing, if the referendum passes, you issue $80 million in referendum. If it fails, we're issuing at max. This is max 100% of your 8% money gives you almost 10.9 million. However, if it passes, you start spending referendum money, and you start to pay down the 8% money, increasing your 8% capacity. The other thing that's important to understand is that we have already issued about $15 million in 8% that is already out there for projects not in the referendum. For projects not in the referendum. If the referendum passes, you have all of this capacity here that is available to issue to address some of the facility issues. So in addition to the 15 that was already issued, there is more capacity with the referendum. If you can see, without the referendum, we've kind of really maxed out on what we can borrow.
Okay. Since part of the bond referendum's goal would be to expand existing schools and build a new one, how will teacher shortages be handled? We're already hearing a lot about that now during the current school year.
I think it's important to understand that we are not talking about expanding the significant expanding of the workforce. We're talking about our current teachers and students today being in locations that better meet their needs. So a lot of our programs are doubled up. We have the Academy for Success is currently in Spring Hill. The 5 program or virtual school is currently in Piney Woods. Adult Ed is currently in Irmo High School. These programs already exist with staff. Dutch Fork Elementary is currently in Dutch Fork Elementary. As I move those programs into Dutch Fork Elementary, I'm just moving the Dutch Fork Elementary staff to a new building. It did not create any new staff or any new programs. So we would grow with or without with natural programming. So there is not this net new building that is created, and now we have to go and fill it with staff. The staff are with us. We're providing space for them to appropriately operate.
Okay. Does a current facility study exist that was used to determine the scope of the work to be done at each school? And if so, will the district make that available to the public before the bond referendum?
So on October 23rd, we made public the facilities conditions assessment. That was October 23rd, 2023. So that has been out there for the community. You can go to our website and look at it. There are 11,000 incidences, and you can see those broken by schools. So that you can see that that's made public on actually a year ago.
Okay. Do you know how many classrooms you are adding on to Chapin Elementary and Lake Murray Elementary? And what is the current classroom capacity for each of those schools, and what would the capacity be after adding the new classrooms?
We have those for architectural and engineering right now to be programmed. I can tell you right now. Let's take Chapin Elementary. There are 8 portables in use. So when we talk about capacity, um, when you're in a portable, you're over your operational capacity, right? You're outside the building. So we would like to articulate it as inside the building capacity, and understanding capacity is understanding that we're not talking about theoretical capacity. We're talking about the operational capacity of the building, the instructional capacity, which we can show in the rezoning slides um, here. These are the percent capacity that of the current schools. Chapin Elementary School has 8 portables. We are designing a wing with at least 14 additional classrooms. Now we're still programming the needs. Some of these rooms may be, we may have additional rooms, and maybe 16 new rooms in there, but those 2 are science labs, or those 2 may be a sensory room that we're developing, but at least 14 classrooms. Let's look at Lake Murray Elementary. You can see, where it is on the capacity map. It currently has 16 portables in use. 16 portables in use. So they're out of the building twice as much as Chapin Elementary. This has at least 18 classrooms that will be in its design, but we're still in the programming stages of the additional needs. So Chapin Elementary, at least 8 additional rooms. I'm sorry, 8 portables, at least 14 additional classrooms. Lake Murray Elementary is 16 portables, at least 18 additional classrooms.
Okay. Do you have zoning maps that show the exact location of each school's attendance lines for current zoning and proposed with or without the referendum?
Yes, and I think what's important to do is if you can go to our website and you can see the zoning maps for if the referendum fails or if the referendum passes. And if you want to drill down, you can go to, and this is what if our current elementary zone, and if the referendum fails, and then our current elementary zones, and if the referendum passes. But you can go on our website and you can go to the school rezoning options, click the QR codes or scan those QR codes, and then see your address. Where would you be if the referendum passes? Where would you be if the referendum fails?
Okay. What is the proposed location for the new Dutch Fork Elementary School? Is the district already in possession of the property? And if not, has the purchase cost been accounted for in the cost of the construction?
A great question. We have identified the location on October the 28th board meeting. We will ask the board to enter into an agreement to purchase this property. It is in the current Dutch Fork Elementary zone. I can say that until we exit executive session. After that, and that purchase of property matter is addressed. But it is in the current elementary zone, and so once negotiations fails on that, the question about the funds will not come out of the bond referendum money. I've asked the board a year ago to use $3.5 million in fund balance to prepare for the 5-year plan. And that included purchase of property for the Irmo High School expansion. for property for the new Dutch Fork Elementary School, to engage in architectural and engineering work for Dutch Fork Elementary, its current site, and Chapin Elementary and the Lake Murray Elementary wings. So that $3.5 million was used in preparation for the 5-year plan, and that's where those funds are coming from.
Okay. What is the point of keeping Spring Hill a magnet?
Spring Hill is an amazing educational program for our community. Let's keep aside its national and state rankings for what it does. Choice is the present and future of public education. And Spring Hill offers an amazing choice for children in Irmo, Dutch Fork, and Chapin. I do not want to remove that option and that educational experience when we still have room in our other facilities.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the vestibules project. One of the people who was on our Lunch and Learns realized that we had some previously earmarked funds for those projects at some of our schools. So, can you talk about what that money was used for and what is in the bond referendum projected projects?
So the $135,000 that was given to us will go to a few of our schools. However, we have a lot more schools that need vestibules. If you look at the price of what construction costs by the time we're in place, by the time we put these in place, I can tell you for just Lee Park Elementary by itself, what a vestibule cost will be there, what a vestibule cost will be at Chapin Elementary. We're talking about a lot of outside architecture to get these projects going. And then we want them consistent with the current look of the facilities. And so there's about $5.1 million for vestibules, as well as other security items. The next level of school defense is really in our security systems and our cameras. So a vestibule, while we did a lot to harden the building, there's a lot of our facilities, and as I say this at the time of recording, that you can come right in from the street and have access to staff, and there is no protection there. So we want to make sure that all students, but also faculty and staff, are protected. And it's going to take more than $135,000 to do that by the time we get to constructing these vestibules.
And there's a follow-up question to that. Is there any study or evidence that these vestibules improve the safety of people on campus, since a lot of times the bad guys don't necessarily, they may not come through the front door? Is this the best safety and security upgrades that we think is the best practice, or are there other more effective ways to make these security upgrades?
In terms of prevention, the best thing we do is when we see the signs of someone in distress, or to say something. That's the number one defense. Other than that, is to lock all your doors. We can, however, there's one door that we can't lock, and that's the front door. That's the door to let people in. In some cases, we do have those locked with certain security measures in place, but in others, you just open the door, come on in. The reason that we're spending money there is that those are the places that are most vulnerable. Those are places where we've had in some places people come in and get access to the building. So for us, if you're an SRO and you're in charge of a building that has 53 exterior doors, anything you do to just keep all of them locked would assist you. The person can't be everywhere at one time. They can't stay at the front and take care of the campus and all of the things that are going on internally. So having the vestibule ensures that there's just one more place where we're ensuring that no one has access into the building. And it says to our reception people and the people in the front office that their safety is just as important as everyone else's.
Okay. What are the educational benefits of the indoor practice facilities? Do you think that this is the best use of our tax dollars when we've got some overcrowding that's in our elementary schools?
I would say that the as we take care of the educational projects, and I think we had that under safety. I think it's important to understand why that was put in. It sometimes it comes off as a an extra, and it does have in there a clause of if the referendum, so it's conditional. But this was presented to us by our sports medicine staff. They're responsible for heat acclimatization of the students. In short, protecting children from heat illness. What they're saying is that it's these springs and summers, it's harder to protect students from heat illness. Um, as a school district, we save lives through academics, arts, and athletics. And when children are outside and that wet bulb globe thermometer reaches dangerous levels, you have to acclimatize their bodies to be able to be able to thrive in those environments. What the sports medicine team asked is that if we could cover one field, we could do 15 days that are required for heat acclimatization of these bodies of these children, whether it's band or football or soccer or ROTC or PE classes. Heat acclimatization in these times are they're very important. We hear the risk of football players and heat illness, but those exist with band students as well. And so we see this as just as important. However, it comes as a conditional. If the funds remain, we know the community had some reservations about providing these covered spaces for heat acclimatization. So listening to them, we know this is an alternative to safe outdoor practice, but that comes if funds remain at the conclusion of the other projects.
Okay, and this kind of segues into this next question. How were these projects prioritized? Will the funds be used on every project listed? They ask this question because there's certain things that they support and other ones that they don't know, they don't think are as necessary. So can you talk about the how they were prioritized?
So very good. The first word prioritized was safety. Dutch Fork Elementary School, in my opinion, is, and some may temper my language, but I have concerns about its location and with the expanding road of Broad River is at the safe place. And we're already having safety issues at Dutch Fork Elementary. It is, to me, the number one safety issue we have, second to the security cameras and vestibules in our schools. By doing that, then we have the rezoning and facility improvement items. So if we look at the number one priority and it descends down to the least prioritized, but it goes in order of how they're listed. So these are estimates. We hope to stay with total package within these in these budget ranges, but as you know, with inflation, as time goes on, inflationary impact hits us just as it hits our families.
Okay, and I think that this slide will help answer this next question. Will the bond pay for the expansion of Dutch Fork Middle School to include room to bring the sixth grade to the middle school?
So if you look at Dutch Fork Middle, it'll be one of the 5 middle schools. So we're taking our existing middle school population and moving them along 5 middle schools. So it would actually reduce the population at Dutch Fork Middle School because students who fed in from H.E. Corley will be at Crossroads Middle School. So that's how we get the sixth grade in Dutch Fork Middle School.
Okay, if the referendum does not pass on election day, which is the same day that potentially 2 to 3 new board members could be coming onto the board, can the board change the referendum plan that is proposed if the referendum fails?
So if the referendum fails, the board can certainly vote to, issue a new one or start over, change the plans. A referendum cannot get to the voters except through the board. So that will be a decision of the board. If the referendum fails, what plans do they want to take on? We would have to talk about it because other than the funding that you see here and the rezoning, there is no plan for how we address all of the needs there.
Okay. How far after the election will we know what the bond referendum outcome is?
I don't know the date of certification right now, but that's when you would know the outcome when the election commission certifies those. Remember, we were reporting in 2 counties, so we would have to have it certified in Richland County and in Lexington County, South Carolina, before we know the official outcome.
Okay. This question, how can people encourage everyone in all of the clusters to make these changes? I think everyone in the IRMO cluster is very aware of how necessary these changes are, but they sense a lot of resistance in maybe some of the other clusters.
We can't using district any district resources advocate for a passing or a no of the referendum. We can only answer questions. So I think the best thing to do is to point them to the information and have them make their own decision.
Okay, and then what insurances are there that this money will be used for the purposes in which the district is asking for?
I think we live in a trust but verify society, and I think verification and checks and balances are important. What I would propose is a community advisory that exists in a lot of districts, where these are people who do not work for the board or the district, but they're appointed by the board as community members as oversight to the district, and so they can report out. Here are the projects that you said. Here are the budgets that you proposed. We would like to see your progress on these matters. And so the district will report to the advisory. The advisory can report as needed, whether it's every other board meeting or every board meeting or quarterly. It would be up to the board on how we report that progress. But that oversight committee would be a way to not only earn trust, but to provide those checks and balances.
Okay, and last question, and I don't know, let's see, how is this information being shared with the local media, social media campaigns beyond Lexrich 5 pages? The public needs to hear facts.
Well, I'll let you answer that and communicate.
Well, we have it on our website. We have it is on the lexrich5.org page /bond. It is on there with all of the frequently asked questions. All of the lunch and learns are on there. All of Dr. Ross's presentations are on there. We also have information, most of the information, the lunch and learns have been shared out on the district social media pages and with local media outlets. We've also gone to different events like the Okra. Oh, well, we were supposed to go to that, but then it got canceled. The Chapin Labor Day Parade, we've spoken to a number of HOAs. And I know you've been to other places too, Dr. Ross. When people invite you, you've gone to speak to them as well. We've been sharing all the information, the facts with people, because like Dr. Ross says, we cannot sway people one way or the other. So we just have Dr. Ross go out and present his presentations, but everything along with the frequently asked questions and all of your answers can be found on our website at lexrich5.org/bond. I think that's it, Dr. Ross. That's all that I have.
Well, again, I just want to thank you so much. And this is a way just to, if you didn't want to read through all of the frequently asked questions, that we get all of your information. But again, I want to thank you for tuning in. It's our children, it's their future, but it's going to be your choice. So I want to make sure everyone's informed so that their choice represents their thoughts. With that, thank you. And if you have any other questions, please let us know. And you can look up all of the information on our website at www.lexrich5.org/bond.